Okay, guys, in the episode 17 of Denim and Leather Podcast, we have legendary Lorraine Lewis from Femme Fatale and later from Vixen, and maybe from some other projects that Lorraine gonna talk about it. Thank you for coming, Lorraine.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. It's a pleasure. We've talked about this for a while, so finally we get to meet.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we were talking for months about having you on the show. So thanks a lot. But I wanna start the show like every guest. I start with how did you start with music before we come to the main points. How did you start with music from when you were a little girl or maybe?
Well, I've always loved music. My dad raised us around music. The first album that I got was The Fifth Dimension, random. And then, I grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And so, kind of Southern flavored. So I grew up on Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, Linda Ronstadt, bands like that. And then I got to be a teenager. I was in girls' choir in school. I did the musicals. I sang a lot in junior high and high school. I auditioned to be in state. I don't know if you know what that is, but in state, it's like you get to audition and be a part of all the best singers in your state. And I got to do that. I auditioned and I got into that. And then I went to see Van Halen and I saw David Lee Roth and I wanted to be David Lee Roth, and that was it. So it was kind of Southern rock up until I saw Van Halen, and then it was done. It was over. I just wanted to be David Lee Roth. So that's basically the story. I was in top 40 bands in my hometown of Albuquerque, New Mexico. I was in a really popular local band called Babe Ruthless. And then a really good friend of mine had moved to Los Angeles, came to a show. We were doing the bar scene. I would do 6 nights a week in the bars, 3 sets a night.
Yeah.
Cover songs like Missing Persons and We're the Kids in America, stuff like that. Popular songs so that people could dance.
Kim Wilde.
Kim Wilde, yes.
Yeah.
And then my friend who had come to LA, she came to a show and she got a shot of Jack Daniels and put it on the table and said, "You have to get your ass to LA." And she said, "There is no girl doing what you do." So I made up my mind that night that I was going to move to LA. We took a shot back and I moved to LA about 2 weeks later. And that's where it all began.
What year was that? Early 80s?
That was probably 1987.
Oh, 87. Okay, that was right before your success with the album with Femme Fatale.
Yes, and so I moved to LA and I was waitressing at Bob's Big Boy. It's a popular hamburger joint. And I was auditioning with my keyboard player. We were auditioning members. And I could not find a band to save my life. I didn't like anybody. And so I called my brother back home and I asked him, I didn't ask him. I said, "You're going to be my bass player and you're going to get Bobby and Bill from another band and you're going to be my band." And that's it. And that's how it happened. They moved to LA. We became Femme Fatale and started playing on the Sunset Strip, and it happened really fast.
So you started and you signed the deal pretty fast, right?
Really fast, like looking back almost too fast, because we didn't really have time to gel as a band. We gelled when we got on tour with Cheap Trick. That's when we gelled as a band. So, it really would have been better for us, in my opinion, to have gone out on the road and, gelled as a band and cut our teeth on the road and then do the album. But they put us in the studio right away. And then we got the tour with Cheap Trick. But, all is well. It's been an amazing ride. I've had the best life ever. So, it's all good.
Yeah, when they saw you, they probably saw a package that it's already done, already great. So it can be released very soon.
Yes.
You had the songs, you had hits So it was probably for the record companies. It was probably enough.
Yeah, I think that they just, they saw, blonde girl, big boobs, blonde hair, and that was the sign of the times. And let's get this in the studio as quick as we can. But I have no regrets at all. I mean, I think that everything has happened as it was supposed to happen, and it's all good. And there is much more coming in the future for me.
Yeah. So that album, that first album, became a hit back then, and you already recorded after that a second album that wasn't released, right?
Well, correct. Well, I think that a big part of the success that Femme Fatale had was, we had videos. We had 2 videos.
Yes.
By Marty Kollner. Marty Kollner is a very respected video director that is famous for, the White Snake, and Steven Tyler and Aerosmith. And,
Twisted Sister, yeah.
Yeah, so many. So we were so lucky to shoot with him. And he's actually a really good friend of mine. I actually was on the phone with him last week. We were actually working on a project together. Awesome. So I'm very excited about that. Marty Kollner has been very important in my life. And he loves working with women. And that is his expertise. And so I was so lucky to work with him and have him behind the camera and flirt with him behind the camera and just get the best performance. So I think that is what really helped us. And then we went into the studio to do demos for the second record, and the label rejected them. They didn't like the direction. And at that point, I just kept all of those songs, and I ended up releasing those on my own about 4 years ago, I think, on F&A Records. I love a lot of those songs, and so, but they wanted us to go back to the drawing board and write a new record. But by that time, things had really changed at the label. Pretty Boy Floyd was really popular, and I think that it was Bret Hartman that brought them in, and all of our people were let go. So we didn't really have any cheerleaders at the label anymore, and that's okay. I think that they were just kind of done and moving on to the next thing. They wanted to keep me as a solo artist, but they wanted to put the debt that we had from the videos and the touring and everything. They wanted to put that on me. And my manager at the time said, yeah, we're not taking that deal. And so I didn't stay with the label. I went out and was pursuing a solo deal on my own. And that's when I was working with Mike Plink, who produced Guns N' Roses. And we had planned to do some things together. And then, life just got a little bit crazy, and those things never happened. My manager ended up getting brain cancer, and things just shifted, and, life happened, and we move on and we do other things. And that was kind of the end of the ride.
When you mentioned Guns N' Roses, I read that post of yours a while back on Facebook or Instagram. Well, you kind of stuck with Axl Rose, and yes. You kind of flirted a little bit.
It was so great. It was a great night at the Cat Club in Hollywood. And, it was a packed place. Ricky Rackman and all of the people, Tammy Down from Faster Pussycat and everybody. And yeah, everything was so crowded. And he went, we kind of went to give each other a hug. And then our bracelets, because, back in the day, we would all wear just so much jewelry.
Yeah.
And our bracelets got stuck on each other. And we just we were like this close to each other. And we just stayed there just talking and laughing and flirting with each other. And people were trying to get us apart. And, it was just a really fun moment between us. So, yeah, I have lots of stories like that.
But what I like the most about your time, the 80s artists, is the amount of respect back then between each other, everyone supporting each other.
Back in the day, we were all on the Sunset Strip together, And, back in the day, I mean, I dated Ricky Rocket from Poison. He was, we were an item. And I was waitressing back then. And, whenever I would be getting off work, I would call Ricky to see what was up. And, I would say, he'd say, well, why don't you come over to the Poison House? That was on Woodrow Wilson. And he would say, come over. And I'd say, are you hungry? I'd always ask if he was hungry. And of course, he was always hungry. So I would always get a pizza from the place that I worked, and I would go to the Poison House. And then, we would be in his room with pizza, and then you'd hear like a knock on the door, and it'd be Bobby Dahl smelling the pizza. And he'd like come in and like, oh, do I smell pizza? And I'd be like, yeah, are you hungry? Everybody was always hungry. So, yeah, that's just a great memory that I have with that. The Poison Boys were great. But yeah, everybody was really supportive. I lived in an apartment complex that the guys from Bang Tango lived in as well, in the Valley, in North Hollywood. And we would always go to their shows. They would come to our shows. And yeah, good times, really good times.
It's, I'm like in awe how a lot of those bands made it from that scene, made it with record deals, with touring around the world, like almost everyone.
Almost everybody got a record deal. Everybody wanted to be famous.
yeah.
Everybody wanted to be a rock star. I mean, doesn't everybody want to be a rock star? Probably. Yeah. But we were lucky. It was the time, and labels were signing bands, and it was happening, and it was thriving. It was a great time. It's a great time to be in a band.
Yeah. How did, Lorraine, the 90s affect you when the grunge era hit, and when what we love, the glam metal, the hair metal, what you call it, doesn't matter, the heavy metal, when it ended a little bit, in the 90s? How did you survive the 90s?
Well, I don't know that I did survive the 90s. I don't know. I mean, basically, it was over as fast as it started. And, I mean, during that time, that's around the time that my manager got brain cancer. And it was a really strange time for me, because I remember I started living in Seattle, and I didn't tell anybody who I was, because the 80s were like, it was not cool to be an 80s big hair, metal musician.
Like not cool anymore. Yeah.
It was not cool in 1990. Hell no. So I didn't tell anybody. And I mean, there were obviously people that knew. And I put a band together called Love Lowell. And we used to play at the Phoenix Underground. It was a really popular spot in Seattle. And the owner knew who I was. And we played a lot. We played New Year's Eve there, like 3 New Year's Eves in a row. And we made good money, like we got paid. And we were doing our own music. But I didn't tell anybody who I was. And that music was it wasn't really grungy. It was kind of maybe a little grungy, but it was more poppy. I played guitar back then, rhythm guitar. And I wore short skirts and kind of pigeon-toed, and that whole vibe, like grungy type stuff. Courtney Love rehearsed at the same rehearsal studio that we rehearsed in, it wasn't cool to be from the 80s, and it definitely wasn't cool to be from LA. So I just kept my mouth quiet, and we were pretty popular in Seattle. And then it was kind of time to move on. And, I chased a boy to Philadelphia. I've done a bunch of crazy stuff. The ride has been wild. But those were good times in Seattle for sure. We had a close knit group of people, that we hung out with. I don't know if you know the band Pigeonhead. But they were really popular, and I got to sing with Sean a few times at his
I
piano.
might heard of them. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, amazing voice. And I have really good memories of Seattle, but it was very, very different from LA and the big hair days and Sunset Strip. Very, very different vibe for sure. But that's how I survived it, I guess. I've always been in music to some degree, and I just changed my persona and put a band together, and we got popular. So
that's awesome. I love some. I was a kid in the 90s, and I loved some of the female artists, like, I don't know, Alanis Morissette or.
Of course. Oh my God! I just saw Alanis about a month ago in concert. Holy cow!
Yeah.
Wow. Like, effing amazing voice, great songs, great lyrics, unbelievable.
My favorite from the 90s was the female singer was Dolores from Cranberries. The Cranberries.
Of course.
It was that was a great band. I mean, there was some very good bands in the 90s. Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
There's good music always.
Yeah.
I mean, music is the best. Music is the big healer. Music is it's the glue that brings people together. Music is everything.
Yeah. Maybe after the 2000s something happened, and it was a revival of the glam metal maybe era after 2000, 2010 maybe. There are a lot of bands that are playing in that style now and are much respected more, now than in the 90s. It was like a reunion thing, a lot of bands.
Yeah, I think that, just the fact that a lot of the 80s bands, that they're still alive, that they survived.
Yeah.
They didn't kill themselves by over drug use, etc. I mean, we've lost a lot of musicians, but there's a lot of them that stayed healthy and good and still rocking, from so many bands, Stephen Piercy, with the Rat songs and all that catalog is so great, and Slaughter and Great White and, all of those bands. And I knew so many of them.
Also, we mentioned Poison. They're still great at what they do. I mean, they're still playing, so...
Yeah, they're still there. It'll never die. I actually just talked to Ricky today. Ricky and I are still very, very close. I love that guy. He's great.
Yeah. Oh, I read about news about some miscommunication in the PR about Brett and Ricky about that thing about their touring 2025, but no 2026, and there was some PR stuff that went off as it shouldn't be,
There's always something, bands are like family. And there are always things that you have to work out, and sometimes they don't work out. But yeah, I just have great memories of Poison back in the day and being at the big Poison house. And I can remember it so vividly, like in my mind, I can just still remember the house and the swimming pool. There were always girls there. There were always so many girls at the Poison house. It was ridiculous. And I was one of them.
I love it. I love it because there was every band had his own house. Like Motley Crue had, Poison had. I don't know. I'm a huge fan of Twisted Sister. They had the same in New York. Same kind of scene and same kind of houses and stuff. Loved it.
Yeah, just like Guns N' Roses. I mean, everybody they kept the band together. Femme Fatale, we didn't do that. We did live in the same apartment complex. But we didn't, the boys lived together, but I always had my own place.
Yeah.
Even on the tour bus.
Lorraine, how did you, did you try to make a reunion with Femme Fatale?
Well, I did do a reunion, but I didn't use the boys. And the reason that I didn't use the boys is because Bill D'Angelo, the guitar player, had passed away. We lost Bill about 9 years ago. And I was asked to do the Monsters of Rock cruise and put Femme Fatale back together. And I decided to put an all-female lineup together. I just didn't feel right about having different guys if Billy couldn't be there. And so I went all-female. I had Nita Strauss on guitar, Courtney Cox, Janice Tanaka from L7, Athena, who is Tommy Lee's younger sister.
Yeah, Athena Bass, yeah, the drummer, I know.
Yes. Kat Scarlett on keyboards, and then sometimes I would use Rachel Ryan on drums when Athena wasn't available, or sometimes they would switch off and on, and that was a blast. I loved it. But I will say, after being with two female bands, and it's been a blast, I'm ready to be around guys again. So I am putting a band together, and it will be all guys, no females. And I'm excited to be the only girl in the room again.
You have a name of the band?
I'm not revealing that as of yet.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I've got a lot of secrets.
so you're getting ready for an album, a tour maybe, yeah?
Yes, 100%, 2025. I actually, I can say that I'm working with an amazing producer right now. We have a half an album's worth of songs.
Yeah.
And so we are gearing up for 2025, and I'm very excited.
Awesome. Is it in an 80s style, or the music, or more modern?
It's a little bit of both. I think it's anthemic, anthem.
Yeah.
But modern, and my voice. You put all that together in a blender, and that's what it is. It's really great.
You did have an anthemic song with Vixen a while ago in the Red song. It was kind of anthemic.
Yeah, that was a great song. We released it last October. That was a great song.
Yeah.
Modern, hit really hard, aggressive vocals. I thought it was a great song. The video was amazing.
Yes.
That was a great. Last year was a great run. That was a great time. I had the time of my life.
While we're at it, how did you enter Vixen? When was it when you entered Vixen?
I was in that band for 5 years.
5 years.
I think that most people know that I got a call and got invited once Janet decided to do her own thing and leave the band. And I think that they were really excited. I was really excited. And, all I can really say about that, and all I really want to say about that, is that had the time of my life, and have great memories. And I will remember those times really well. That was a chapter of my life. And I am really excited to be back to me and doing my own thing and doing what I love, which is rock and roll my way. And I'm stoked about that. I'm so excited and grateful about the opportunities that have come to me. I'm humbled and honored by the fans that send me messages every day that they can't wait for my new music. And I'm not done yet.
Of course, but also Vixen fans loved you. I mean, they still do. I think they accepted you really great.
They did, and it wasn't. Those were not easy shoes to fit into. Janet Gardner is a great singer. She's a friend of mine. I love her, and the fans were great to me. So I have nothing but mad respect for the friends and fans of the band, and it is time to turn the page and move to the next thing for me.
But you left, or how was it? You still on good terms with the Vixen girls?
I did not leave. I did not.
Okay. Yeah, I get it how it happened, but did it end on good terms or no?
Have you ever? I'm not going to talk about this too much longer because I've given them 6 years of my life.
Yeah.
I promoted them for 6 years, and I'm kind of done promoting them, to be honest with you.
Okay.
It was not it was not my decision to leave. I don't know. I thought we were just killing it. And that's really all I can say. I don't know why. I just think that I'm grateful that we had a blast. We did Germany, Sweden, we did Vixen Festival last year. We did Brazil, and I know that we killed it. And I am, again, grateful and thankful that they decided to do something different. And I was not a part of what the different was. And so what do? I pivot, and I get to be Lorraine Lewis, rock and roll. And that is what I'm doing and moving on with my life.
Well, you're ready for your new chapter, your new band, and you might as well go as a solo artist name, because your name is pretty famous, you know.
Thank you. Well, we'll see. I mean, when I'm ready to announce, I will definitely have Bryn reach out to you, and I will let you know what is going on. But I'm very excited. The producer I'm working with is amazing. He has a few hit songs out right now. I'm so happy. I can't wait to start telling people. But at the same time, I like to keep things a little bit quiet, because, especially on social media, people like to or who does she think she is, or whatever. And I just want to do things pure and authentic from myself and present it. And I hope that people dig it. I think that they will. But I just don't want anybody saying anything about it until it's time.
Yeah. Good. Until it's recorded and ready to hit the digital, Spotify, CDs, vinyls, whatever, right?
All of it. Well, and actually, Femme Fatale, when we were on tour with Cheap Trick, I just released 5 months ago, Femme Fatale on tour with Cheap Trick, and those are live tracks that you can get, the CD, and then the vinyl is coming out next month. I'm really excited about that, and in that vinyl is a message that I recorded to my friends and fans about what is next.
Yeah, really? So you have a live album coming out on the vinyl?
Well, there's a couple of tracks that were live.
Okay.
The rest is demos. It's like if you're a Femme Fatale fan, you'll want this album, because it's live when we were on tour with Cheap Trick, me yelling at the crowd, much like I do still, and some of the demos from back in the day. So it's pretty cool.
So it will be kind of like a third Femme Fatale album, right? Or fourth?
Well, I didn't say it would be a Femme Fatale album.
Oh, okay. I thought
it will be my fourth album to release. Well, actually, if you look at, because I released an album called Snowball, and I released a country album. So actually, for me, it will be my sixth album.
Yes.
But I've done a bunch of different things.
I saw that you are very diverse in that. You recently released that duet single with Angry Hill, right?
I did that with Angry Hill. I love that song. And then I've been in the studio with Lou Graham. Lou Graham from Foreigner. We have 3 songs that we're working on. One of them, our vocals are done, and I just talked with him last week. We're going to be back in the studio this month to finish it up. We don't have to do anything vocally. The vocals are done, and but we have to get the music done. Live drums and bass and everything. So there's still a lot to do before we can release it. But the track is great. It's we've done cover songs together, and it is a song that has been recorded before. However, there has never been a duet of a male and female voice on this song. So I'm really excited. Working with Lou has been effing amazing. There were some real special moments in the studio. We had fun. We laughed a lot. He's super charming. His voice is effing amazing. there was a moment when I was listening, I was in the control room and I could hear him singing. And there was just a moment where I just got chills everywhere. And it was like, oh my God, like that is Lou Gramm.
So
you
he's
know,
still,
like,
still amazing. He's still amazing,
Still
like
amazing.
he was. Yeah, yeah.
Still amazing. And then I came out of the control booth after I had been singing, and he looked up at me and he looked me dead in the eyes and he said, "You sound amazing." And I'll never forget it. I mean, Lou Gramm told me my voice is amazing.
Yeah.
That's cool. And,
Yes. Yeah.
and then his son was there. You know, his son manages him. His son's name is Matt. And, you know, I was like, you know, how do we sound together? And he's like, you guys sound so great together. He said, this is making me forget all the other versions of the song that I've heard before. So I'm excited. People are gonna freak out. It's flipping amazing, and the song is so great.
Awesome.
I wish I could tell you what song it is, but I got to keep my secrets.
Is it a foreigner song, or no?
No, it is not.
Oh, okay. Keep it a secret. But you said you're recording 3 songs with him.
Yes, we're planning to do 2 more songs. They want me to fly to Rochester, New York this month and do the other 2.
So you're gonna release 3 singles with Lou.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
That's great.
But you know what? Let's finish up the 1 first.
Yeah.
I'll be happy with the 1.
Can't wait to hear it because I saw Lou was singing recently on Bret Michaels' Party
Yes.
Grass. Yeah.
They've been on tour together. It's been amazing.
Yeah,
Lou sounds great.
Yeah.
And Foreigner just released a single. I want to say it's called Going Back in Time or Throwing Back the Time, something like that. But it's great. And then when I was in the studio with him.
With Lou, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But when I was in the studio with him, you know, we were kind of wrapping up and he just looked at me and said, "Do you want to hear my new album?" And I said, "Yes, I do." So he played me 4 songs off of his new record that's coming out, and it is great.
Awesome.
Great. It is classic Foreigner, but modern. His voice sounds effing amazing. It is so great. I can't wait till it comes out. I think that they're talking about January, but yeah, it's great. And we've talked about me joining him on stage when the song is done to do the track, and him joining me on stage. So we'll see what the future holds with that. But I consider Lou a very good friend. We've become very close. You know, the way that it all happened was because of social media. Because I had been posting, people would ask me in my Q&As, you know, who would you want to sing with? And I always said Lou Gramm first. Yeah. Always Lou Gramm. Then it was Paul Rodgers from Bad Company. Third was David Lee Roth. And his PR person reached out to me one day and said, "I'll pass the message on to Lou." And I was like, oh my God, is this really happening? And then I got a message and she said, "Lou would like to talk with you. Are you available Friday for a phone call?" Whoa. I said, "Yes, of course." A part of me thought, is this bullshit? You know, like are they faking me out? But I sent over my phone number, and sure enough, at Friday at 1:30, I got a phone call. It was Lou Gramm. And I said, "Hello, Mr. Gramm. This is an honor to meet you." And he said, "Call me Lou." And we just started talking. We started talking every Wednesday. We had a meeting, a phone call meeting every Wednesday for the next 14 weeks, maybe, trying to decide on the songs that we wanted to do. Really cool. Like, I mean, just so cool.
Awesome. Yeah, that's unbelievable, amazing. Did he know you from Femme Fatale from back in the 80s, or?
He did know of me from back in the day, but it was more so current, like my social media and because back in the day Vince Neil invited me to play at the Party Ninjas. It was a big thing that they used to do at Santa Monica Civic, and Vince invited me to perform. And I did Hot Blooded, the song by Foreigner. That's the song that I sang. And I did that with Mark Ferrari, was my guitar player, Jamie St. James from Black and Blue. I forget who else was in my band for that show. Yeah. But I did Hot Blooded, and so I posted that on my social media, and I think that they realized what a big fan I was, and
Whoa.
it just kind of came together. So cool. Social media is an amazing tool.
Yeah. How great, because it's amazing when you post positive stuff like that, you know. It's
And
amazing.
that's what I do. I'm all about positivity and living life to the fullest, and it's never
amazing
over till it's over.
It's amazing for shows like podcasts like this, or like for everything, for promoting yourself and stuff.
That's how we meet each other.
Yeah, of course. So I saw while you read it at the Instagram and Facebook and social media post, I saw you singing with Ted Poley while like a few days ago, a week ago.
Yes, last weekend. So there was a big, the band Accept and KK's Priest were performing at the Whiskey A Go-Go on Sunset. And so a friend of mine asked me to join her. And so I went, and I was with Glenn LaFerman. I don't know if you know that name. He's a famous rock photographer. I mean, he's worked with Twisted Sister and Bob Marley, and he did the Alice Cooper album cover. So many. Anyway, so he went with me, and we went to the show, and we were at the Whiskey watching the show, and then all of a sudden, you know, somebody tapped me on the back, and it was Ted Poley, and gave me a big hug. It was so great to see him. And he said, hey, I'm playing tomorrow at the Rainbow at the Backyard Bash. Do you want to come up and join me for Naughty Naughty? And I said, of course I do.
Yeah.
So that was great. It was just an amazing party. I got to go up and sing with him and just have fun. And it was a great weekend. I hadn't been on the Sunset Strip for months, so it felt great just to connect with everybody, the vibe. I saw so many friends there. It was a super time. Have you ever been to the Rainbow?
No, I haven't been to USA. I never been there.
Oh my God, you have to come. Come out and we'll go to the Rainbow together and we'll go have a cocktail.
I gotta go. It's my plan. It's my plan.
You have to. You have to. Everybody rock and roll needs to hit the Sunset Strip at some point in their life.
Yeah. I know everything about it, but I haven't been there. Yeah. We have.
You'll get so excited.
Of course. All the bands that I listen to are coming from either that area, Sunset Strip, or either New York. You know, it's both sides, East and West, for me are
East and West, like the Doro song, when East meets West.
Yeah. So you saw? I just saw Accept. I don't know, like 2 months ago.
So good.
Yeah, but they were playing with Joel Hoekstra. He was like their. He was at my show, just before he joined Accept. Yeah.
Cool.
So we were talking about it, and he joined them. I think he was he's not a full member of Accept. He was there because of Phil couldn't do it, the other guitar player.
Yeah, so he stepped in. Back in January, I was invited to perform at the NAMM convention for the Ronnie Montrose, and I did Rock Candy with, and Joel was my guitar player.
Awesome! Wow, man, it's Joel is one of the best in the world right now.
One of the best in the world. He's one of my favorite guitar players, along with Doug Aldrich. Doug Aldrich is another favorite guitar player of mine. I actually saw Doug at the Backyard Bash as well. And yes, he's such a sweet guy and such a great guitar player.
I've met Doug like 18 years ago. I opened for Whitesnake with my band. I have a band, and we opened for Whitesnake, and back then he was playing in Whitesnake. We connected. He was like very, very in awe from our guitar player. They connected a lot. So
cool.
Yeah. So
what was the name of your band?
My band's called Steel Temple. This is
Steel Temple.
Steel Temple. This is our vinyl here. We released a vinyl, an album. Yeah.
Cool. I love it. I love it. I love that you're a musician. And what do you play?
Drums. I'm a drummer.
Oh, I love it. Of course you're a drummer. You look like a drummer.
Yeah. I will send you some tracks to check it out.
Oh, I'd love that. I would
Yeah,
love that.
yeah.
And I'll send you some of my stuff.
Some of the new stuff, maybe?
Well, I wish you'd like that. No. But I do have a song that the producer, he said that I could play it for a few people, but he doesn't want it to leak. So I have to be very careful right now because we have plans.
If you send it to me, it won't leak. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, I will just listen to it. So it's something that you will making it a single, right? Maybe.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a single. It's the first single. Yes.
Well, I can't wait to hear it if you send it.
It's so cool. I mean, that's the thing about me. Like I'm the girl that won't go away. I never stop. I never will stop. This is what I do. I work in television during the week though too. I have a TV job, but I am all about rock and roll and music. My guitar is right there on my couch, and I play every day. And I've got now the producer sent over 5 songs that I need to finish, so I've got a lot of work to do this weekend.
Yeah. So what are some of the side projects that you've done? Maybe you have some more. Maybe maybe as a guest somewhere on some albums.
I'm going to be, Leather Leone from Chastain. Do you know Leather?
Yeah.
Leather and I are going to be in the studio October 6th and 7th.
Okay.
We're working on something together, a single, and that's going to surprise the hell out of people too. But yeah, I'm just working with all sorts of people. I have another project with another great singer. I can't mention it yet, but I'm going to be flying to Nashville to work on something with him. So it's exciting. 2025 is going to be awesome.
Wow, I'm very, very thrilled for you, and I can't wait to hear a full album, singles, videos, and stuff. Well, we read it on the end of the podcast episode. What are your future plans, short-term and long-term plans?
My short-term plan is live life to the fullest, be happy. I'm single. I love being single. No man in my life. It's great. I can focus on everything. And I'm excited about 2025. I'm excited about the future. I have my birthday is in 2 weeks. I'm flying to New York for my birthday. I'm going to go see Jelly Roll. Do you know who that is?
No.
Jelly Roll is an amazing artist that has just blown up. I'm friends with him and his wife from years ago, but he is an amazing performer. I'm going to Madison Square Garden to see him on the 27th. I'll be in New York for a few days. I'll be in Portland. I do meet and greets with people, so I'll be doing more of those. People can find me on social media, Lorraine Lewis Rocks on Instagram. My website, LorraineLewisRocks.co. The website is being completely redone. I have an amazing photo session to release photos of. Life is good. Life is really good. I'm happy.
Lorraine, when we're gonna air this interview, it's gonna be your birthday. So happy birthday from me right now.
Oh, thank you so much, you handsome devil, you. You are a handsome man. I love hearing a happy birthday from a handsome man. So thank you so much.
Thank you for the compliments also. Thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for having me.
Of
and
course.
I will definitely reach out when I can reveal a little bit more. Thank you for having me on. And
of course.
XOXO. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you a lot for being my guest. It's an honor to have a legendary singer like you.
Well, thank you. Come on out to Hollywood and let's go to the rainbow together.
I will someday. Thank you.
Love it. Thank you, handsome. Have a good night.
Bye-bye. You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.